You're watching Community Conversations, a ConcordTV production.
Welcome to Community Conversations, which is a production of ConcordTV. I'm your host, Josh Hardy. I'm the Executive Director of ConcordTV. And with me today for this special episode, we have Jennifer Goodman. She is the Executive Director from the New Hampshire Preservation Alliance. And thanks for joining us today. Really appreciate you coming in for us to finally connect. We hadn't met before, but I really was fascinated looking on your website, learning more about the important work that you're doing in New Hampshire. To start off, could you tell our audience about sort of your mission as an organization?
Sure. Well, thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
Yeah.
The New Hampshire Preservation Alliance is a statewide nonprofit. We're in the old building business, pretty much. Our work is really about helping community leaders, private property owners, people who just love old things, to save and revive old buildings, to encourage investment in downtowns and village centers, and to protect irreplaceable landscapes as well. So really all those different kinds of historic resources.
Now, how long has the Preservation Alliance been in existence? How long have you been in operation?
I think we're close to 35 years, so been around for over 3 generations, kind of part of the ARC along with land conservation groups in terms of doing that important work and bringing more people to the movement.
And we've really, New Hampshire has so much history in its buildings and its architecture.
Yeah.
I mean, New Hampshire, it really is a unique place based on American history and a lot of great locations around New Hampshire. What are some examples of some sites maybe in the greater Concord area that you can think of that you work with?
I think we are so fortunate to be in a state where there are so many rich resources, from archaeological things that people might not know about to centuries of buildings that show the history and evolution of how people have connected to our places, connected to the state. We do work in communities all over the state. I'd say Concord is a real leader in terms of historic preservation activity. I think of some awards that we've given to projects in Concord over time, and they've been things on the government side, like the State House restoration, the incredible work on the Gold Dome, to state investments in the former hospital complex, now the state office complex, getting a lot of those buildings revived over the years, to private investments like the Concord Theater that was recently revived there on Main Street. But also just the homeowners are sort of, the heroes of the preservation movement, people who are keeping after their older homes, stewarding them, taking good care of them, maybe help saving an old farm or being a farmer on a farm in this region. I mean, those people are giving us that sense of community and connection to that history.
Now, I think I had seen something, there's federal grants that are out there for restoration projects could you tell me kind of what that is about?
I think the shortest answer is that most of the historic preservation activity is happening through private investment. It's people either as homeowners or business owners making that kind of investment and seeing the gains. There are some grant programs that we're lucky to have fortunate to have in New Hampshire. The acronym LCHIP is something that some folks will know.
LCHIP?
LCHIP, it's for the Land and Community Heritage Investment Program.
Okay.
That's a state program that's been around for 2 decades now and has been incredibly catalytic, helping both land conservation projects as well as historic preservation projects. Those are nonprofit or municipally owned properties.
Okay.
The federal money, there's been some federal money that's come through now and then. The Preservation Alliance, along with our kind of peer organizations in the other northern New England states as well as New York, we're fortunate to get a Northern Border Regional Commission grant to grant back out to projects that really married historic preservation and economic development. And those, again, were for nonprofit and municipal ownership.
And I mean, you mentioned economic development. That definitely, and the projects you mentioned in terms of like Bank of New Hampshire Stage, that these projects are definitely here in Concord a big part of a thriving business sector, and that you have people actually coming to your downtown and appreciating the history of what we have. For me, I think a lot of the downtown area seems to apply in that case.
Yeah. I think studies reinforce what a lot of people think anecdotally or know for themselves, that businesses locate places where there's communities where their employees want to live and work. Heritage tourists, visitors stay longer and spend more than other kinds of visitors. So, and I think it's part of the equation of kind of the for millennials and keeping a younger demographic here in New Hampshire.
Oh, for sure. Yep,
Yep.
keeping me around.
Speaker.
Yeah. Keep us
Speak
young
into the
people.
microphone, please.
But for sure, I mean, and there's many factors that go into that. But we are trying to keep more 20-somethings and 30-somethings in Concord to stay, work, and play.
Yep.
So definitely the work you guys are doing is one part of that.
One little piece of it.
One factor of that.
Yeah.
So what are some other resources? I saw on the website there are quite a few other resources like workshops. Can you tell me just about a few of those
Sure.
that are offered?
Yep. So at the New Hampshire Preservation Alliance, we do a kind of a calendar of educational offerings that attract people for different reasons, and as well as provide direct service, I'd call it. People can call or email and get a question answered about the plaster on their ceiling that's failing, or the church or Grange Hall or farm down the road that they're worried about. So we love to help in that way. In terms of the gatherings, we have an awards program and we have a 7 to Save program, an endangered properties event every year, and they're kind of at both ends of the project, right? 7 to Save is all about announcing a set of endangered properties that we really want to focus public attention on and try to attract more resources for. The awards kind of at the other end of the project, that we want to celebrate great work and hold it up as an example to others. So,
Great,
yeah.
So we've talked about all the benefits, the mission of the organization for the Preservation Alliance.
Yeah.
Every nonprofit obviously has to factor in challenges or obstacles. What are some of those? That might be a tricky question in itself, but what are some challenges that on a day-to-day basis that you have to sort of keep in mind, both in terms of short-term and long-term?
Yeah, that's a great question. There isn't one answer. I think at one level we're dealing with kind of the huge sweep of changing land use patterns, changing demographics. Do people still go to church downtown? Do people still want to shop in the same way? So that obviously sets up issues or problems for old buildings that really need a creative use. And I guess that kind of leads me to the other set of obstacles or information. Do we have the information, education, and tools needed to help, and political will and good communication to help find those creative uses? We're not trying to save everything. We're really trying to help people make informed decisions, and we're helping try to help people figure out how to put together those tools or resources, the grants, the tax incentives, the successful vote at town meeting or at city council to get a project done.
Right. Well, I mean, but thanks to the work you do, that those resources are available.
Yeah.
Part of the challenge, too, I think, for any nonprofit is making sure people know that those resources are available.
Yeah.
We encounter that with public access television, where people don't know until they step in the door, or until they find out and they go, wow, okay, what great resource.
Right.
So half the battle sometimes is just outreach and making sure people know. So in terms of outreach, what are some of the things that the Preservation Alliance does or are in the process of doing?
Some of our other signature events that we want people to know about, kind of offer a way into the kind of preservation world and connect to the kind of people we work with every day. So our Old House and Barn Expo is a really great example of that. It's this time that's just this wonderful, very special coming together of tradespeople involved in all aspects of old house buildings and services, old building services and products. We have one coming up in March 21st and 22nd in Manchester. We do it every other year. We do other kinds of smaller workshops throughout the year, but I really encourage people to check out that event, because you can get people come with their photographs and the questions they need to be answered. It's a chance to see timber framing, stone wall building, all that stuff.
Great place to get
close.
all your questions answered.
It really is.
All
Yep.
in one shot.
Yep.
Now, where does the expo happen? Is it in like a large function hall?
Yep,
somewhere?
it's in the historic armory of the Doubletree Hotel in
Okay,
Manchester.
good, yep.
Lots of information on our website that I encourage people to check out.
Awesome. And that website is nhpreservation.org. Again, this is Jennifer Goodman, Executive Director from the New Hampshire Preservation Alliance. And we're just talking and just you being on this show is sort of part of outreach and part of getting the word out about what you do. Now, so you're a statewide organization, so you're based out of Concord, but you're serving all stretches of New Hampshire, correct?
We are.
So all corners of the state. So are there challenges, I keep saying challenges, but it's, as a director myself, there are, in terms of the differences between the parts of New Hampshire you go to that, you know, whether you're north of the Notches or the Seacoast, in terms of different policies, different rules, even just different history behind
Different
each
buildings,
community.
different significance.
Right.
Yeah. There are. I mean, I think we think about the market conditions being different in different places. Certainly, the Seacoast, Portsmouth is dealing with much different issues relative to their built environment than a small rural community is in the southwestern or northern part of the state. I think we also see a difference between places that have kind of staff, municipal staff, and more infrastructure to help, and more development interest to help make some of this happen, and places that are have less of that. I'd say the common denominators are pretty clear, though. I think just seeing people get excited or helping people get excited and knowledgeable about what they have in terms of these special places, and then using, there's so much talent across the state, and there's so much commitment in the citizens of the state to get this stuff done. So you see it in your work, I'm sure.
Absolutely. I mean, we're so lucky in New Hampshire just to have the base of support and to have that. So what are some examples of things people can do to volunteer, to help out, to pitch in? What are some things that people are doing, or that maybe you're looking for more people to help out with?
I think it can happen at many different levels, suiting what folks are interested in. Often a way into our activities is to participate in an event, come to a workshop, come to the Old House and Barn Expo, come to our awards, and see different aspects of the organization. We welcome nominations for our awards program. We welcome nominations for our 7 to Save program, and helping us connect to the different networks of tradespeople and community leaders that are out there getting the work done. We have regular kind of volunteer offerings in our office as well. And we're a membership organization, so we don't have government money that's helping our core operations at all. So we're looking for members, we're looking for donors, we're looking for corporate sponsors to help us get the work done.
So your membership base, so is that sort of like an annual membership that people kind of just re-up and join? And
it's all on our website.
Great,
No, it's really important to us.
Yeah, that's definitely, and that's in our field, so in public access, we're not membership based, but you have to sort of start considering that as a nonprofit. Where is your funding coming from?
Right.
So I guess a couple last questions I'd have is, you mentioned the award ceremony that you have, and before we came on camera, we had talked about how you had done at the Concord City Auditorium the Preservation Awards. So roughly around what time of year does that happen? Could you tell us more about sort of that process in terms of picking award winners for this?
It's a public nomination process. Anybody can nominate, and there's nomination materials on our website, and we're always happy to chat with people about a prospective nomination as well. We recognize projects. We also recognize people. We typically hold after we've selected, we typically hold the celebration event in May, which is National Preservation Month.
Oh, good, okay.
And we've been at the Audi more than not. Concord City Auditorium obviously is such a great venue and a wonderful portrait of community stewardship.
Absolutely.
So we love going back there.
Yeah, we love the Concord City Auditorium as well. And the show that you were on a few years ago with David Murdo, they still record here. He's been going almost almost 20 years with that show, which
Yeah,
is pretty incredible.
that is
So
pretty incredible.
we're a pretty tight community in terms of typically everybody knows everybody,
Yep.
and we're all in this together.
Yep.
And certainly for New Hampshire Preservation Alliance, Concord TV is here as a resource for, as we are for any nonprofits,
Yep.
that we're happy to partner with you guys and help you out. And,
That's great.
so this has been a great opportunity. Is there anything else that you would want to share with our audience just about your organization
Yeah.
or anything that,
Yeah.
that you felt like we didn't discuss
Yeah.
yet?
Yeah. I think we talked about challenges kind of in the more abstract level, and we didn't talk about individual buildings.
Yeah.
You also ask about how people can get engaged. So we want to know about places in trouble too.
Yep.
And our 7 to Save list over time has included some projects that are moving forward really well, like the Kimball Jenkins estate
Yeah.
was selected for its significance and its challenges a few years ago, and certainly there's great momentum there. So many people talk to me about the gas holder building on
Yeah.
South Main Street as
yeah.
a landmark of our industrial history that has a very uncertain future. So
Yeah.
just wanted to
Those are great examples.
mention
and-
those Concord examples and invite people to share additional.
Yeah, those are great examples. Kimball Jenkins, I just took a tour there
Yeah.
a couple weeks ago, and it's such a rich history. And that mansion there right on the campus too is such a,
Yep.
and they do great tours. And
Yep.
so yeah, so those are just a few examples. Thank you for sharing those examples too. So I think that just about wraps up. Unless you had anything else, Jennifer, I think this has been really helpful to help the community understand what you're doing. And again, you can go to nhpreservation.org to find out more, to get involved, and certainly subscribe to Concord TV on our YouTube channel, where you'll find more episodes, more nonprofits such as yourselves. So thank you again, Jennifer, for joining us and for coming in. And maybe we'll have you back again soon, I hope.
You're welcome. Thank you for inviting me.
Thanks. And thank you, everybody, for tuning into Community Conversations. You're watching either on YouTube or listening as a podcast on SoundCloud. Please comment, like, subscribe. We want feedback so we can keep shaping content towards what you, the Concord community, want to see and hear. So until next time, I'm Josh Hardy, Concord TV Executive Director. Thanks for watching.